Today we're on the St. Lawrence River doing comparison between the old 3-in-1 transducer and the 3-in-1 high definition or HD transducer. And what I want to do is come out is so you can get some idea of what is it really worth the thing, worth the amount. So here's a setup for what we got. We got two boats. First boat's my boat, which is a Ranger 522D. I've got an HCS Pro 12, and I have the old Active Imaging 3-in-1 transducer. Okay, that's how it's mounted. I use the transducer shield and saver coming off the jack plate. So that's the first comparison. The second test boat is the Vexus VX21, which you may have seen in other videos. Again, same setup, but this difference is I have a S3100 sonar module, okay, and that has a high definition transducer on it. So this is the installation, same install. Okay, so our first comparison area is really the Messina Dam area or the ramp area. Okay, this is the dammed up area where the Messina intake is, and what it is we're just going to drive through there. We actually discovered, as well, we're driving around a little bit, there's an old bridge in there, and we're going to show you some shots of that. So as we're driving along, we're going to take screenshots just like you see right there. So if you pause the video, you can actually do a real good comparison of the images of what we're getting. But on the left, you'll see that he's running in 455 kilohertz. I'm running 800 kilohertz on my machine. Okay, and I didn't know he was running the 455 app. And later on, you'll see in the third comparison where he actually switched it over to the megahertz scan rate for the side imaging, and you'll see a little bit of a difference there. So as you watch along, just if you got any comments about this, hopefully you'll see, put the comments down below if you would. I appreciate that. But if you can see on these images, the definition is really, really good on the new transducer, the HDs. But I hope that this video will let you, basically help you to figure out, is it worth the extra money? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let the rest of this roll until we get near the end here. And if there's anything I see that pops out, I'll point it out to you. So let's just listen to the motor drones. So this is the second area. The second area is near the dam down there, and it's a giant hump. There's trees and pilings. This is where another old bridge used to go through, but they tore it down. So you can see some of the screenshots. Like for example, on the HD transducer on the left, you can see one of the old towers there for the bridge. It's very, very, very crisp. Some of these images you'll see has a little bit of streaking, and the streaking is from when we did our turns. And basically, what we're trying to do is this is real stuff. This is not just shall we say, made up like you see a lot of marketing material. This is real life. This is what you see, what I see, what Clayton sees. And Clayton, by the way, is the driver. He's in the Vexus boat. That's his boat, and he also owned that Camus boat. So he's a good customer. One thing I will say is that as we're going along these areas, I've never noticed all these logs down there. You can see all those logs that were basically left at the bottom of the river here. Basically, when they dammed this river section up, they dropped the trees, left them there. A lot of southern lakes, they drop the trees and harvest them, and what they'll do is you'll see the stumps. So in this situation, what we're doing is we're seeing an old bridge area. You see some pilings there, some very high definition stuff. So we're coming back into that first area we started in, and you can see a little bit of the difference there. And you see the stepping on the right unit, and that's where my range is completely changing. The 455 again gives you wider coverage, so you don't get the stepping like I was getting. my 800 kilohertz, which is on the one on the right. And one thing I do apologize is Clayton's screen was tipped a little bit up because he's a lot taller than I am. My screen was tipped down, so I have less glare on my machine. So there are those streaks I was telling you about. So the third area is kind of a different area, completely different what we're doing. This is an area of the river where if you move from, say, 30-some feet or 40 feet out into the shoreline, it immediately pops up and there's a grass line there. So as you go along, you can see I basically was doing a Z pattern, and this is the same type of pattern that you would be doing if you, say, searching for fish along the shoreline or along a grass edge. Okay. So you can see there's a little bit of grass lines there. There's some different pieces. What's interesting, I find, is that the old AI 3-in-1, you can see like a shadow line. You don't see that shadow line on the new transducer. At this point, Clayton was running the megahertz variety, so now we're doing true apples to apples comparison, and you can see they compare very well. In fact, you see a lot more detail with that new megahertz transducer. To me, it's pretty obvious, but again, I'm planning on doing more videos for you on this. Now, Clayton, what he's doing now is he's going back to 455 because that's what he prefers. Now, if you look at the image here, you see that white lighter section on the screenshot there. That's where he had switched back to 455. But that comparison back there, and the reason it looks a little different is that on mine, I ran right over top of it. So I saw that old tree or obstruction sticking up, whereas on his, he was slightly on one side of it, or slightly to the right of it. So we're just going back through, and at this point we're going to be running off the hump in a moment. And when we get off the hump, we'll get back into some of the pilings or the old bridge abutments and stuff. Okay. We're heading back to the ramp there. And you can see maybe, is this really worth it? Well, the big question is, what do you need to do that? For live units, carbons, and Elite FS, you have to have the S3100 module and an HT transducer. Okay. If you want the Fish Reveal for sidescan, okay, and that doesn't matter whether it's the Pro units, live, carbons, or the Elite FS, you have to have the 3100 module and the FR, which is basically the Fish Reveal transducer. So those costs are roughly $1,400. So is the better image quality worth that? Okay. And only you can decide that. But I will say that I've just installed the 3100 module on my boat, and I'll be running some more testing and videos for you. Okay. So I appreciate you watching this. If you made it this far, please give this video a thumbs up, and please help channel and subscribe. Thank you very much.